is Russ. Yeah, I'm back in the car again. Headed out of Costco. What's the time here? 10:44 a.m. 54 degrees outside. Well, is it 54? Let me see here. What's the weather?
It's currently cloudy and 50 degrees.
50 degrees.
Expect rain starting early evening. Today's high will be 54 and the low will be 34.
Yeah, see, this is why I say that you can't trust the car thermometer until the car's been driving for a little bit. It's just sitting there heating up. Yeah, 50 degrees outside right now. Well, our heat wave is over. I was able to get at least 2 days worth of riding time in, of which I was able to finish 3 e-bike reviews. So those will be coming out as soon as they allow me to give it to you. However, I wanted to talk today about e-bike apps. E-bike apps and NFC cards. Okay, let's talk about these things. Now, some bikes have apps, right? It could be a good thing, but maybe not. So let's discuss it, all right? So what are these apps designed to do? Well, the apps are designed to give you updates. So if they want to update your controller or anything about your batteries or whatever, believe it or not, some of them have battery update things. So anyways, display screen updates, right? They can do it via the app, okay? So that's a good thing, all right? However, sometimes technology could hold you back, all right? So here's what I'm thinking, okay? The app updates are good, but what if the company goes under? You ever think about that? If the company goes under, who's updating the app? Nobody, right? So, which means you would not get any updates any longer if the company goes under, okay? But, you know, once your bike has been programmed in and it's been updated to wherever it is, and if it's still working fine, even if a company goes under, shouldn't be an issue, okay? Here's where the potential issues can happen, right? If a company goes under and your bike is reliant on an app, that could be a problem, right? I had a bike once that had a fingerprint technology on there, where you unlock the bike using your fingerprint, right? It worked fine for the time that I was doing the review, but then all of a sudden it wasn't working right, and I couldn't unlock the bike. Yeah, I couldn't unlock it. I couldn't do anything with the bike. It basically was dead in the water. And because I couldn't unlock it, I couldn't do whatever updates they may have wanted me to do to fix the issue. So the only thing you can do at that point is either bring it back to a store that maybe sells the bike and then they could try to work on it, or you'd have to send it back to the company, okay? Well, it was too much of a hassle to deal with, so what I ended up doing was I told the company about it. I says, I can't unlock the bike, I can't use the bike as an e-bike anymore. So they said, ship it back to us and we'll ship you another one. You know, this is when you receive the other one, take your bike, repack it back in that box and send it back. And that's what I did. Yeah, same thing happened to that bike. So obviously there's an issue, right, with that technology. At the end of the day, I couldn't do anything with the bike. I ended up donating that bike to a family in need, another family in need. But I didn't give it to them as an e-bike. I gave it to them as a regular bike. It was a lightweight enough bike that it really could function as a standard bike, non-e-bike. Okay. So if you think about it, if it didn't have the technology in the first place, that bike would be perfectly fine, because I would be able to ride it, or anyone could be able to ride it, and they, wouldn't be an issue. The whole point of the fingerprint technology, though, was the fact that you could lock the bike up, and without your fingerprint on there, they can't unlock the bike to take the bike, and use it as an e-bike. That doesn't mean that people can't steal your bike, all right? They could still steal it, and it was lightweight enough that you could actually still ride it as a regular bike, and that's why I gave the bike away and just said, use this strictly as a regular non-electric bike. Yeah, to guarantee that, I made sure I didn't give them the charger. It was donated to a family in need. So they use it as a regular bike, okay? Kind of an expensive regular bike if you think about it. It was an e-bike essentially, but they're not using it that way, okay? All right, so now that was a app-driven thing as well, but not necessarily having to be app-driven. So once you use the app to set it all up, you don't need the app in order to function the bike. So I mean, the technology is supposed to be able to unlock the bike by itself without the app, as long as you have your fingerprint, okay? Started out good, didn't end up that way, all right? So it got me thinking about all of these app-driven type bikes as well. I says, well, what happens if a company goes under? They can't update anything then, right? You can update firmware with app-driven stuff, and that would go away because once the company goes under, no one's fixing the app anymore. The app probably will be pulled off of the app store and all that stuff. So yeah, so the question really is, are app-driven bikes a good thing, or maybe on the long run a bad thing? That's the question of the day, all right? So put a comment. What do you think about the app-driven bikes? Now, I see the apps as a good thing as long as the bike is not reliant on the app to function. You see what I'm saying? I see the app thing as a good thing to help update with the latest updates, fix potential problems that way, as long as the company's still around. I see it as a good thing. But if it's dependent on it to even run the bike, then I don't see that as a good thing. So far, at least luckily, bikes that I have currently don't seem to be reliant on it that way. Right? Now, other bikes don't need that for updates, but you would need to bring it to a dealer or to the manufacturer to do updates if they came up with an update that's better. Yeah, I'll give you an example of that. U-Free, okay? U-Free has a little port available. If you have the programming equipment, and if you have the programming file, and using a laptop or desktop, whatever, USB thing to plug into it, you can update the bike to whatever they design at that point. So it's fully updatable, okay? But it's not app-driven, all right? So somebody has to do it for you because you don't have the programmer, and of course you don't have the file, so somebody has to do it for you, all right? How often do they update it? Not that often. I don't think they really do. It's just that if they have to do an update or if they have to fix something via the software, or which would be the firmware, I should say, they can do it. Yeah. So they have the technology to do it. Not all bikes have that ability. Theirs does, but they don't use an app to do that. Okay. Tell me what you think about that. So the pros and cons on that would be, the pros would be it's updatable. The cons would be you can't do the update. All right? Somebody else has to do it. Either a dealer or U-Free themselves would have to do it. Okay? So now let's talk NFC cards. NFC cards. That's the most recent technology that people kind of like. All right? Let's talk about that. Pros and cons of that. So what the NFC card does, it's like a little credit card, right? It's got a little chip in it. So you walk up to your bike and you want to use the bike, all right? So you turn on the power to the bike and then nothing happens. You can't use the bike at all. You take the NFC card, like a little credit card, you tap it against the screen and it unlocks the bike. So kind of like what the fingerprint thing does, but you need to have a card. It's not dependent on the fingerprint. It's on a chip on a card to unlock the bike. Kind of cool. Anyone that walks up to your bike cannot ride it as an e-bike. So they can't, it's not that they can't steal your bike. Anyone can steal a bike, but they can't ride it away using the electronics. So if the electronics is not functioning, the goal is that they can say, I can't even use this bike. It won't even unlock. So they just walk away and leave it alone. Okay. Not every crook does that, all right? Someone will still steal your bike, and then they'll say, it doesn't work, then they'll toss it, right? But then you're still out of a bike. So NFC card is good to potentially stop someone from riding it as an e-bike, but it's not good to stop someone from stealing your bike. Oh, it's too heavy, they can't ride it. Well, they may still roll it away. You never know. Here's the thing with the NFC cards as well. If you lose the NFC card, your bike isn't usable for you either, okay? So what happens then? Well, the only thing you can do then is bring it back to a dealer or bring it back to the manufacturer and have them reprogram that thing so it doesn't recognize NFC cards, so you can use it as a regular bike again, right? As an e-bike again. So all of this technology is what I'm basically saying is there's good to it, but there's potential bad to it as well, right? So the moral of the story for NFC card is don't lose your NFC card, all right? And you'll have to keep it with you all the time, because if you want to use your bike, you need the NFC card to actually start the bike up. Otherwise, you can't start the bike either. Then nobody's able to ride it, right? So here's what I usually do for bikes that have NFC cards. I don't use the NFC card. Some people do, but I don't, because first off, I have a lot of bikes, as you know, and when I want to do an e-bike ride, I just grab the closest bike that's easily grabbed, and I just take it and I go. I don't want to be hunting for the NFC card. Now, you can keep it in your wallet, but let's say a whole bunch of my bikes have NFC cards. I'd be keeping a lot of cards. You see what I'm saying? And then eventually, as you know, I usually will sell the bikes off in time. I don't want to have to unpair that NFC cards or anything, or to make sure that you get the NFC card. I don't forget it, you know. It's easier for me just not to actually program the bike for the NFC card. Now, I will usually show you on videos if the card is part of the function of the bikes. I'll show you how it works, but then I usually don't use it. So I unpair it so it doesn't require the NFC card when I'm riding it. Now the thing is, for me, I never leave my bike anywhere, as you know. I'm always on the bike. I don't lock it up somewhere and walk away from it. I'm always with the bike. So having an NFC card for my style of riding and what I use it for doesn't make any sense, okay? But on the average person who rides around with their bike and they go shopping and they leave their bike somewhere, the NFC card is a nice thing to have, right? You just keep it like a credit card, so that way nobody can turn on the bike and try to ride away with it. Still lock your bike up, all right? Don't forget, you still need to bring locks and lock your bike up that way. But so here's a question on that: do you like the NFC technology or not? What's the pros and cons of it to you? You know, am I missing anything that I didn't mention as a pro about it or a con about it? So yeah, put in the comments today, NFC card issue, let me know about that. And also what you think about app-driven type bikes, or at least functionalities with apps, or for updates. You know, do you like that option? Or like Ufree, they do their updates for you. Okay, if they have to do it. I mean, they don't do it, but I'm just saying, if they have to do something about it, they can do it. Okay, what do you think about that? All right, that's all I got for you guys for today. If you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. I'll talk to you guys next time.